I am Dr. Catherine Esquer. I'm a licensed psychologist in the states of Pennsylvania and Florida, and I am also your mental health coach on Kunik. We are going to chat today about how to communicate when you are furious. Maybe you're at your wit's end, maybe you are frustrated and overwhelmed, and you really need to be able to communicate with your partner about something that is not going well. So first steps are we're going to check in with ourselves. I know this might seem obvious to some of you, but we need to be aware of when we're angry and when we might not be capable of controlling our what we say and how we act. So sometimes the anger shows up in our heads. Maybe it's the ruminating thoughts about ourselves or others. Maybe it's the things we wish we could say out loud that we're snapping off in our head, but we're not going to say out loud. Or also anger shows up in our bodies physically. Maybe we tense our shoulders. I know I hold anger or tension in my jaw a lot of times. So be aware of what's going on in your head and in your body so that you know when you might not be able to communicate as effectively as you normally would be able to without a little extra support. So if you're aware you're getting a little wound up and that you need some extra support to communicate effectively, I recommend using this very simple formula. I feel when you, could you please? And we'll break it down. The I feel is an I statement. It's not a you statement. So when you are extremely frustrated and angry at maybe your partner or a friend, a family member or a boss even, you're going to want to start with the I feel, not the you part. So it's not you're so lazy or you're giving me too much to do or you don't understand. It's I feel underappreciated. I feel overworked. I feel tired. I feel demotivated. These are non-debatable feelings. Okay, so instead of saying you're so lazy or you're giving me too much to do, those can be debated, right? The other person in your life could come back and say, well, you did X, Y, and Z, or I did X, Y, and Z too, and that just infuses more feelings of being unheard in the communication, and we want to really avoid that in terms of minimizing the conflict. So the I feel statement keeps it very factual, keeps it very focused on you, and it's simple. It's really just that one sentence. I feel tired. I feel overworked when I come downstairs because we're all working from home and start dinner while you browse your phone and the kids are screaming in the background. Or I feel overwhelmed when I start dinner, the kids are screaming in the background and you're on your phone. So that I feel starts off the whole communication effectively because it focuses on you. Second is when you. So that's where we get into the you part, but we need to keep it non-debatable, just like the feelings part. So that means sticking to facts. I feel overwhelmed when you browse your phone and the kids are screaming. Can't really debate that the browsing of the phone is happening and the kids are screaming. That's very factual. It points to our environment about what is going on. And it's also very clear. The more clear, the better. You can even put timestamps on this. I felt overwhelmed tonight at dinner when I was making hamburger helper and you were sitting in your chair browsing your phone and the kids were screaming in the playroom. Okay, very, very specific, very factual based, and very timely. Okay, you don't want there to be any question about what situation you're giving feedback on or you're communicating about. Okay, so and then the third part is could you please? This is where we get to the resolution. If you do the first part, the I feel, and the second part, when you, very clearly and very factual based, without a lot of interpretations or emotions feeding the description, then the could you please should be a no-brainer for people in your lives. They most likely or hopefully don't want you to feel the first emotion, and they understand what we're talking about in the second description. And so here's the resolution, okay? So could you please ask the kids to be quiet when you hear them screaming and I'm making dinner? Could you please wait to go on your phone until after dinner. Could you please? It's very important. And this is where a little tension can come into the conversation, because perhaps the person you're communicating with sees a different solution. So you really want to try and be open-minded about working towards a resolution, but it's at least a starting point, okay? I feel underappreciated and overworked and overwhelmed when I get done with work, I'm starting dinner over the stove, you're sitting in your chair on your phone, and the kids are screaming. Could you please intervene? Could you please wait to go on your phone until after dinner and after the kids go to bed? Could you please? It's very polite, it's very open, and it engages the conversation of working towards a resolution, okay? So hopefully that gives you some strategies of how to, number one, notice when you're getting angry. And if you're too angry to be able to control what you're saying in a factual way, without any of the truth bombs of what's going on inside your head, what you wish you could say but you know you probably shouldn't, then maybe take a minute to cool down before practicing this communication strategy. Once you're able to communicate effectively, then use the formula. I feel, when you, could you please? So that's it for me, but I would love to hear about some examples of how you can use this in your own home, at work, with family members. The possibilities are endless.